What's up, guys? Hi. I don't know what I'm doing. So, how would you start this? I had a stroke, and I'm gonna tell you about it because no one seems to be able to give any information other than, oh, I had a stroke. I'm fine now, and I don't know about you golden oldies, but that's not how it is in the real life. Um, in the real life. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. Hi. I'm George. Uh, I'll steal your girl. I'm gonna stop talking. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning, and because I don't know how I could do this. If I don't know if it would make sense if I did it not in chronological order. So it started on December 1st. Which is kind of creepy that it would begin on a first and the last month and the first day of 2016. Um, yeah, 2015 was like 2016 carry on the Lord's work, and 2016 was like I'm gonna tear your world apart and set you on fire. Because obviously 2017 is just gonna be like this wimpy 2015 that came before me. And then 2017 is just menacingly cackling. I woke up, I went to school, I was fine. I had no symptoms. I hung out with people. I didn't display any seizures or hallucinations or suicidal characteristics. No homicidal tendencies. Yeah, it was just normal. And then so I came home, I did my homework. We had spaghetti for dinner. I still can't have spaghetti for dinner. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. I do remember that I only had math and Latin for homework. Oh yeah, fun fact. I went to Highlands Latin School, which teaches you Latin and Greek, which, why would you ever need that? But I only had math and Latin to do, and it was going great, and then I went to bed. I, God, I went to bed, and my mom came in and she sat down in my bed and she started kind of getting me ready for bed. Um, and the Christmas cantata was coming up because we always do it every early to mid December, and I just so she asked me to look up a certain song, and it's called something about a Ukrainian symphony. It's the Words of Good Cheer one. It's like the really creepy one that everyone knows. The da 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 that one. Um, and all of a sudden, I just I got this horrible sense of fear, like undescribable, like the most hideous black hand of death that's curling around your psyche. I tell you, I have never ever heard or felt that kind of fear in my entire life, and I've been through more than most kids my age have been through 10 times over. I cannot describe to you how horrifically hideous this fear was. I knew something was wrong. You know. When you feel that way, you know. This horrible, horrible fear and overwhelming doom. And I got so hot and nauseous and dizzy. The entire world tipped this way. It was like I was suddenly in a snow globe and someone tipped it upside down. Like I was hallucinating. Like literally, the entire world to me flipped over. It's not like, oh, I felt this way. It actually did. And I told my mom, I feel so sick. And she got, because it was late, it was like 11:30, and she was like, George, shut up. And I started having a seizure. I mean, I love science. So like I knew what a seizure was, but feeling it was just unbelievably horrifying. It took knowledge to this hellish second level. When they say spasmic rhythms, that's not how it feels at all. It feels like you're this marionette and someone's jerking your limbs up and down. It's true. Most of the descriptions I'm going to be talking about is like it doesn't feel that way. They're written by people who've never felt it. Like this wasn't because they describe seizures as like you're doing it, like your brain is controlling it, but that's not how it feels at all. It feels like you're being physically tortured and shooken. And my mom thought because it was my left side only, my right side had frozen and stiff, and my left side was like spasmic and jerking. And my mom thought I was having a temper tantrum because I felt sick and she had to go down and keep my dad company. She thought I was having a temper tantrum because my left side was like drooping like this because yeah, and when you're having a stroke, your left side dips down and that feels like it's pulled too. Like it doesn't feel like it's just tired because I've I talk a lot. Like I'm a motor mouth and I know when it just feels tired and it's kind of sore, but this one was like someone was jerking it down and pulling it and holding it. And no matter what I could do, I kept shaking and it kept being pulled and I looked if you've ever like drawn in a cartoon app, like there's this some sort of effect that you can like draw and it'll like pull the whole animation down. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you're this drawing that's being like erased downward, like suddenly one half of your body is being pulled towards like the center of the earth. So my mom goes downstairs. She goes down and gets him because he's an expert in everything scientific. So he comes up. He's worried. Like she's mad because she thinks that I'm like mad at her, but I'm terrified. And she brings up a glass of water, and my dad's right behind her. So he watches me try to drink this glass of water, and by now, the seizures stopped, and my entire arm is curled, like frozen, like it's gone. It's a potato. Like, it's the most horrible sensation in the world, just out of the blue. It's now a statue. So I try to like because when you're paralyzed on one side, it hurts literally to like move your body because now it's the right side doing all the work. So I tried to drink this glass of water, and my dad was horrified because it looked like some sea urchin. Like, because remember, my left mouth, the left side of my mouth was like dead. So I'm slurring my words, and I'm trying to drink this glass of water through one side of my mouth. And it's so hard. So it like dribbled all down my shirt. And my dad is completely horrified at this moment. And what does he do? He sits down in my desk chair because like here's my chair and here's my bed where I'm lying so he can see everything that's going on. And he asked me some questions like, is it numb? Can you move it? Does it feel weird? Are you dizzy? Do you feel hot, cold? Are you nauseous? Yes, to all of them. It was because I'm totally dead. My foot is curled inward, and it would stay that way for the next. It would stay like that for weeks, months. That was it. That was my foot. my See, it was weird because starting off, it was paralyzed, but slowly we tried to kind of regain some sensation, and eventually it kind of came back halfway, and I started to be able to kind of move it a little bit, and it kind of, here's like, here's the finish line and here's the start. I was kind of here. Like, I wasn't, like, completely paralyzed, but it took a hell of a lot to make it move. So, my dad kind of is just off into space, like in hell, and because he doesn't, he he has some theories, but he doesn't know. So I go to sleep, and my mom takes my dad out into the hall, and he's like, I'm positive that this is a brain tumor. And my mom's like, because I read Reader's Digest all the time, and they have advertisements for the symptoms of strokes. And I had all of that. I had slurred speech and drooping and weakness. I mean, that's all of it. That's the hallmark symptoms. And she's like, well, can it be a stroke? And he's like, no way. The last time I saw a kid with a stroke was never. Because a lot of kids with strokes play sports, and when you have a kid come in who's had like a hemorrhagic stroke, where that means like the blood vessels in your brain have exploded on impact, you see that and you ask, and then they usually play sports, and then it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, but they got a hit to the head, that's why they have it. But I didn't play sports. So I sleep through maybe 3 hours because, and then at like 5 a.m., my mom calls my grandfather, and his IQ is probably like 300. I mean, he's a complete genius. I mean, he blows me away. He's one of my favorite people. So he said, he asked, my mom tells him like everything that happened, and he's like, Allison, which is my mom's name, get him to a hospital now. So that was kind of the first night, and if that doesn't sound scary enough, that's like that's like a kids show where like kids dress up in those little costumes and they run out and say boo, and that scares the 5-year-old. That's like that. That's nothing compared to like the Saw marathon that comes on like the next day and the day after that, but my computer is on like 30%. So I don't want it to get angry at me and say, no, you can't record anymore, and just blink off in the middle of my sentence. So I'm going to stop it here. If anyone is watching this, please tell me if you want more. I probably will, just because this was kind of fun. And it's a good way for me to kind of relive. I don't want to relive it, but I also don't want to forget it in a really weird way. Like, I wish I could forget it, but I know I'm never going to, and it's gonna bug me just having those pieces that I remember, and I have a piece of a lot of memories, but that is for another episode, video, if I ever make it. So, thank you for watching, those who watched, maybe, and hopefully you will see me in another video. I'm not gonna call it an episode.